Those of us that struggle with our mental health sometimes have to make a concerted effort to like the concept of living. It just doesn't come as naturally for some of us. But that doesn't mean that life is meaningless, and it doesn't mean that it's all about suffering. It just means that we have to put a little more energy toward creating meaning in our life. Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're new, I'm Amanda. Welcome to the channel where we are all about shattering the mental health stigma. If you haven't already, please make sure you make sweet, sweet love to that subscribe button. Give the bell a few kisses so you're not missing any of this content designed to help you with your mental health or help you help someone else. Today I'm going to be reacting to My Heart is Broken by Evanescence. This is a request from Ofair. Thank you so much for your love and support. I appreciate you so much. I have heard Evanescence many, many times, but I've never really delved into their discography. I just heard some songs that were popular, and I always loved Amy Lee's talent. I've always been very blown away by it. As a matter of fact, she's the female that I always think of when I just think of empowered female vocalists, very powerful female vocalist, when I know for a lot of people it's Beyonce or Mariah or whatever. For me, it's always Amy Lee, so I I'm excited to get some of that female energy, some of that girl power today.
I will not till the end of time, torn away from you. I pulled away to face the pain. I close my eyes and drift away over the field that I will never find a way to heal my soul, and I will wander till the end of time, torn away from you. My heart is broken. Sweet sleep, my dark angel, deliver us from sorrow's wound. Oh, for my heart.
I'm telling you, there's just pure velocity in her voice that honestly, even from my previous exposure from her, is kind of unparalleled by her other work in this song. I just think that the velocity here is unparalleled to the other songs that I have had exposure to. There's emotion in her voice, there's emotion in her eyes, there's emotion that's being expressed even in her choice of attire. There's emotion that's being expressed in every movement she makes. She just has this art form to her that everything is laser focused on that emotion, because I think it just overcomes her. So everything is an expression of that emotion. This song to me tells a story of being trapped, facing the pain, but succumbing to the fear and falling into escapism to cope with it. And escapism doesn't have to be a substance or habit. It can simply be the act of escaping into the fantasy world in your mind. And some people can do that without any outside interference or outside, as I said, substances or anything. You're just pushing everyone away and living in that fantasy world. I think every person at some point is crippled by the fear that they're going to forever be broken, when whether because of something they've done or something that's been done to them. I just feel like everyone gets to that point sometimes where they feel like they're broken, and everyone experiences a severing at some point in their lives, a disconnect. It can be from themselves, from their faith, from humanity, from a loved one, whatever the case is and whatever the circumstances. I think everyone experiences that, and there's so many different ways that can play out, but I think we've all experienced it. I know I've fallen susceptible to finding myself in painful situations that bring on a realization that change is necessary, but my go-to, it almost always triggers a desire for nostalgia as opposed to a desire to move forward, a desire to make changes and move forward. I'm really typically drawn to that nostalgia, to going back, returning to innocence, to the good old days, you know? And oftentimes that's not possible. Actually, it's never really possible to go back. So I can definitely relate to that, though. Especially recently, I've kind of had this drive to just want to go back and have a second chance and go back the way I came. But it takes effort, sometimes copious amounts of effort to see that I can't return to the past. But shame and guilt and fear and grief can easily cast a shadow on the path before us, on that path, and it can only amplify these emotions, these things, as we stumble in the darkness, trying to find just the next safe step. That's all we really want, is that next stable step. And I literally felt my breath catch at the line about wandering till the end of days without someone, because I feel like I've been living a half-life since my parents passed away. It took me a long time to not feel such strong feelings about that. And it just felt like it felt like my life was incomplete, like it was cursed. And sometimes I still feel that way. And sometimes those feelings still creep in, and we need to understand that that's okay. Just because something kicks up for us doesn't mean that we haven't done healing work. It just means that sometimes we say goodbye more than once, and sometimes we have to process through those feelings again.
My heart is broken. Release me. I can't hold on. Deliver. My heart is broken. Sweet, sweet, but dead angel, deliver us from sorrow's
There's so many things that could be interpreted or said about the light, the magic, creating your own world, destroying your own reflection. There's so much that could be said about that. I feel like there's many ways to interpret that. But Sleep Sweet, My Dark Angel sounds to me like seeing death as a deliverance, and either release me in death or release me from my own limitations and my own fear and my own limiting beliefs about myself and about the world. While I'm very hesitant to say that a person can be broken per se, I think in many cases they're reacting in exactly the way we as humans are meant to, right? That it's not that this is a broken cycle or a broken process. We're reacting exactly as we're meant to, and that unfortunately can be uncomfortable. So we could be reacting as a response to a trauma or a grief, and of course that's going to be very painful. That doesn't mean we're broken. We're reacting exactly as we're meant to. If we have a deficiency or an imbalance, our bodies are sending those signals to tell us that something's wrong, you know, and it's, again, reacting exactly as it meant to. But even if you have accepted the label of broken for yourself, whether it be your heart, your life, your soul, in whatever way you feel broken, even if you have accepted that very label, by its definition, it just means that you're damaged, not worthless, not unfixable. And I always like to think of kintsugi, I think is how you say it, the Japanese art form of fixing pottery with powders of gold or silver. So they mix the liqueur with this powdered gold or silver to create new beauty in the art. And I always think about that when I feel broken, or when I hear someone say, but I'm broken. but you can still be something complete and beautiful, even if it's something new. So I always find that visual of the pottery very, very helpful. But like I said, I've always really seen her as a powerhouse, and this song kind of took that to a new level, so thanks for that. And I love when artists just bleed the emotion, just emit the emotion in every way that they're trying to get across the song, and she definitely does that. Like I said, I think a little bit more in this song for some reason. But good, bad, and crazy, share your mental health stories here in the comments. That's how we shatter the stigma, is by talking about it. Make sure to share this video. You never know who might need it, who might need the community here. And I love you guys and appreciate you guys so, so, so much. Mwah.